Gerunds and infinitives. Gerunds. Listen to the sentences. What is the subject of each sentence?
Making money is her primary goal. Listening to music relaxes him. Being active helps me stay in shape. Studying regularly keeps my grades up.
In each of these sentences, the subject is a gerund phrase. A gerund is the base form of a verb plus ing. Examples are making, listening, being, and studying. Gerund phrases often function as the subject of a sentence. The gerund, in a gerund phrase, may be followed by a noun, a prepositional phrase, an adjective, or an adverb. We often use adjectives after the gerund being, as in being active. Notice in the last example that even though the gerund is functioning as a noun, we still modify the gerund studying with an adverb, not an adjective. A gerund or gerund phrase is always singular. This means gerunds are always followed by a singular verb, including is, was, has, and verbs ending in third person s. Because gerunds act like nouns, we can use them not only as the subject of a sentence, but also as the object of a verb. The verbs listed in this chart can be followed by a gerund.
I dislike eating onions. She enjoys knitting.
Be careful not to confuse a gerund with other ing forms, such as verbs used in the progressive tense and ing participle adjectives. Read the sentences below. Which two sentences use a gerund? Sentences 1 and 4 are correct. Sentence 1 uses the gerund running as an object of the verb quit. Sentence 4 uses running as a gerund subject. In sentence 2, running is part of the verb in the past progressive. We know this because it is preceded by the verb was. Finally, in sentence 3, running is a participle adjective used to describe the noun shoes. Infinitives. Like gerunds, infinitive phrases can function as nouns. An infinitive is to plus the base form of a verb. Listen to the examples.
To speak several languages is an advantage. I plan to study French or German next year.
An infinitive or infinitive phrase can function as the subject of a sentence. As with gerund phrases, an infinitive phrase is always singular and therefore takes a singular verb. Note that while we sometimes use an infinitive as the subject of a sentence, in English, we more commonly use a gerund phrase as the subject of a sentence. We can also use an infinitive as the object of a verb. Infinitives follow different verbs than gerunds do. The verbs in this chart can be followed by an infinitive.
He appeared to be late. I forgot to get money.
Read the sentences. Identify the gerunds and infinitives. The first and third sentences have a gerund. One functions as the subject of the sentence, and the other functions as an object of the verb go. The other three sentences have infinitives. Note that in the last sentence, the infinitive to be is the subject of the sentence.